Did we just see an American League Championship Series preview, this 4-game set in the Bronx this weekend? What do you think?
I think they're the two best teams. Whether or not they get through the other round to get to be the ALCS representatives, I would like to see it. I think it would be amazing. They're really evenly matched. I don't think they're teams that are alike at all, but they're very evenly matched, and I think there's some dislike there, which is always interesting when you have that kind of series. The Yankees still are not sure exactly what happened in 2019. I know it's been disproven by my friend Jeff Passan about a buzzer, but you can't convince a lot of the Yankee people that there was no buzzer there. We know about the banging of the garbage cans. The Yankees really feel that they have been wronged in this case. So, and Judge does too, because Judge should have won the MVP in 2017 if, in fact, all that stuff was rigged. So there was some series, Rich. I mean, 2 pitches one way or the other, either team could have swept too. The Yankees were probably closer to being swept than the Astros were because, an amazing 9th-inning rally on Thursday, and then, what happened yesterday, they got no hit for 6 innings. So it was a really highly charged atmosphere. It was hot weather. It was great. It really was. Other than the hot weather, it did feel like October.
Well, I mean, no buzzer, I don't think, can keep Judge from the MVP this year if he stays healthy and continues even remotely close to the current pace. And that's all due respect to Jose Ramirez and Cleveland. Ohtani, what he did last week with a 2-home-run game, 8 RBIs one night, next night, 13 strikeouts of 8 innings of work. He's unbelievable, but Judge is on a team that's 30-plus games over 500, and we're not even in July yet. And he also left the bag on the table, which Michael, will chew up and spit out most human beings who do that in New York City.
Well, it's hard to bet on yourself, and he's won already. I mean, other than, God forbid, if he suffers a catastrophic injury and can't play again, he's going to get way more than the Yankees offered. But the one thing that's just not true that people are putting out there, the Yankees are just agonizing over the fact that he's having such a good season. Rich, they're not agonizing. They're celebrating. They wanted him to have this season. And if they have to pay more money, I mean, the Yankees could pay more money. But I will tell you this, and Yankee fans don't want to hear this, they will pay up to what they think is reasonable. And if there's one crazy owner who's going to say, okay, he gets $45 million a year for 8 years, the Yankees will walk away. They have the walk-away ability. It will anger their fans and all of that, but they want to make a fair deal with him. And if you ask around baseball, Rich, you have a lot of guests on that know this deal. The deal that they offered him before the season started, many in baseball thought it was eminently fair, if not more than fair. And he said no, which is his right, because he wants to be paid more. But the Yankees didn't lowball him. They made him an offer of $30.5 million. But I keep hearing he wants to be the highest paid position player, which would put him at about $36 million plus. Can I see the Yankees doing that? Yeah. I think they would like to keep it at 7 because he's 30 right now. But if it goes to 8, would they go to 8? I think they would swallow hard and go to 8. But if someone goes to 10, like Seattle did with Cano, I don't think they'll go there, no matter how popular he is and how much he's the face of baseball. Even if he wins the MVP and leads them to the World Series, I don't think they'll go to 10 because, this is a heavily analytic team. And just look at the contracts of 10 years and how poorly they've gone. They don't want to deal with it.
Does he have any, because again, I've never met him, never had him on this show. As you know, the Yankees don't usually make a lot of people available nationally. So does he have, Michael Kay here on the Rich Eisen Show, does he have the sense of history that he can, 99 gets retired out beyond the fence and he can have some generational talk about being one of the greatest in the history of this franchise? And also, does he like New York City? I mean, because he seems to wear it very well. So what's his take on all that, do you think?
He's very, very smart. I think he has really game planned this. And I think that his preference is to stay with the Yankees, but he wants to be treated fairly. I mean, he looks on his team, and Garrett Cole gets $36 million a year, and he probably thinks, why not me?
Right.
So I think that 36 number is probably a really important number. I also think he realizes what the Yankees mean for him, as much as the Yankees realize what he means for them. So I think that there is a meeting point, I think that if he had his druthers, he'd want to be really extraordinarily well paid by the Yankees. But he also is a man of conviction. And if the Yankees say, okay, we're going to stop at $34 million for 7 years, and the San Francisco Giants, where he grew up in Northern California, if they come and say, we'll give you $40 million a year for 8, I could see him leaving. I could see him leaving. Others have done it. Now, Derek didn't leave. Brian Cashman told him, go find a better offer, and Derek knew what the Yankees meant. So I think there's still some enmity there between Brian Cashman and Derek Jeter. And, these things they're never pretty. The divorces are not pretty. The marriages are beautiful. Gifts, flowers, great food. But the divorces are ugly. But if I had a bet, I wouldn't bet a lot, but I would say that Judge probably ends up back with the Yankees. In terms of the guy he is, I took my 2 kids down to spring training this year, and they were just standing off to the side, and he walked by and said, is that your family? I said, yeah. And my son Charlie, who's 7 years old, just idolizes him.
Of course.
And he walked over to him. And I've never seen a player better at this guy than dealing with young children, because he kneels down so he's at their eye level, and he really talks to them. And he just made Charlie's day. And we were driving back to the hotel, and Charlie's in the back seat, and he says, Dad, I got to tell you, I don't think this is too much, but I think this was the greatest day of my life. And I've seen him do that with other kids. I've just seen the way he is with kids, and that's what baseball needs. A lot of athletes don't realize the impact they have on children. He gets it. He gets it. He really does get it, and I think that's important.